Alright, as you all know, Claude recently released Claude Sonnet 4.5. It was released on September 29th, 2025, and as of today, it's Anthropic's most advanced model yet, with major improvements in programming, computer use, reasoning, and mathematics. It's available from today at the same token price as the previous version. I wanted to mention this as we're starting to see more significant advances in AI. Before, there were ideas and improvements, but in practical cases, the changes weren't as noticeable. It's true that Sonnet 4.0 was a big change. Sonnet 3.7 was also significant, and I wanted to talk about the 4.5 comma as I did with 4.1 comma. I didn't say a word, okay? But it's true that when you see big changes, you want to discuss them and see how they can help us and so on. So, as of today, it's the best model for programming and building complex agents, outperforming all competitors and benchmarks, right? As we're seeing in the SW Bench Verified. And basically, it can maintain focus on complex tasks for over 30 hours. New features in Claude, for example, we have checkpoints to save and revert progress. We have a revamped terminal interface, a native extension for VS Code, right, to be able to program while using VS Code. It also has an extension, right? Very interesting. The extension is really cool for Chrome, where, as we're seeing, well, we're going to write an email or whatever, and we have the tool itself here on the right. So really, it's turned out very, very, very polished, so you don't have to have a specific Claude window and can open the chat directly, right? It has text editing and memory tools for longer tasks, code execution and file creation, spreadsheets, documents, presentations, and so on, right? In terms of performance, it's the leader in benchmarks, as we've been saying, and as we can see here, okay? Regarding agentic coding, it's 77.2% above all others, and for test time, real-time computes, it scores 82 in the terminal, 50 and so on. So generally speaking, we're seeing that it's outperforming all the others. Here in bold, it shows exactly the best ones. We're seeing that maybe GPT-5 wins in visual reasoning, right? But well, Claude is ultimately for programming, which is what matters, and now it has better reasoning and specialized knowledge in finance, law, medicine, and STEM. Look, here it teaches us a bit about 5 finances, laws, so it's very interesting, huh? This, medicine and STEM. It's very interesting to keep this in mind because, for example, if we're going to do an artificial intelligence automation on laws or finances, we might be more interested in using Claude, right? It depends on the complexity of the matter. And well, in summary, Claude Sonnet 4.5 represents a significant leap in technical capabilities in my understanding, security, and tools for developers. It combines strengths in programming, advanced reasoning, and improved alignment, okay? Offering professional infrastructure for agents and reliably automating complex tasks. So a big leap. We're already seeing that artificial intelligence is advancing more and more. And with this, I'll leave my comments on Claude here. Alright, so we're here in N8N, and we're going to take a look at what the new Claude Sonnet 4.5 can do for us, okay? In terms of AI-powered automations, as we're obviously keeping a close eye on the changes that have been happening, and undoubtedly Claude 4.5 has shown great results in finance, law, medicine, and STEM, also in agent code, right? And here we have it. Use of agents, which is very interesting, use of agent tools, and of course that's bound to affect us in one way or another when using N8N, right? And the truth is, if we use N8N, the arrival of Claude can open up many new possibilities for us, okay? Basically, depending on how we use N8N, it allows us to create intelligent agents within our workflows, okay? In the end, with the new Claude and improvements in reasoning and tool use, we can integrate Sonnet 4.5 directly into N8N to make autonomous decisions within a workflow. For example, choosing the best path based on context, coordinating complex tasks across multiple nodes or APIs without programming each step, executing long processes, even hours-long ones, as it has a context of up to 30 hours without losing focus. And as an example, a workflow that analyzes support tickets, drafts automatic responses, classifies them by priority, and executes actions according to each step. And it could also help us automate more advanced technical tasks. Thanks to its power in reasoning, mathematics, and programming, we can be using Claude 4.5 to generate, review, or correct code in developer workflows, create or modify files, which I think is the most interesting part, such as documents, spreadsheets, and presentations, which we can modify directly from a workflow, or perform complex data analysis or financial calculations within automation. Well, although most things could already be done with other tools, right? It also allows us to increase security and control in sensitive automations, as we can rely more on Claude to filter dangerous or sensitive content before it reaches other systems, prevent prompt injections or other manipulations in automated flows, or ensure compliance in legal, financial, or medical contexts, okay? This is a bit of what we're seeing being improved. Browser use or external tools can also be automated, right? Computer use without web browsing means Claude can interact with websites from an N8N flow, fill forms, extract data, etc., and control SaaS apps without APIs. So, well, in summary, integrating Claude 4.5 Sonnet into N8N will allow us to move from simple to intelligent automations. Obviously, the cost also increases. And well, the flow will allow us not only to execute tasks, but to reason, decide, generate content, write code, and control external tools, all securely and contextually. Anyway, this remains to be seen. We'll see the limits of Claude, what doors it will open for us in terms of automations with N8N. But, well, we're starting to see that, which has a greater affinity for legal matters, financial issues, and so on, which can be very interesting. Many such automations exist, and it's true that spending more money on an API isn't a problem here. In the end, you'd rather ensure everything is correct and the legal foundations are sound to avoid any issues, right? So, with that, I conclude the explanation and hope you enjoyed it. Right, how can we connect to the new Claude 4.5 Sonnet with ChatGPT? Well, it's basically as easy as creating a node any trigger, okay? We add an artificial intelligence agent, create a model for it, and add Anthropic. Here, as you can see, we'll need to create an Anthropic account. For that, it's as simple as searching for Anthropic online and looking for API, okay? We log in, we enter the Claude developer platform and click Start Building, alright? This will basically take us to continue with Claude, and from there we can access the Claude API without any issues, okay? And once we have it, we go to the list here and it's already available, alright? It came out on the 29th, just 2 days ago. And we already have it here, Claude 4.5 Sonnet, ready for us to use, okay? Excited to see what doors it opens. And as always, you can find the free ebook in the description to learn more about AI. See you in future videos.